All right, Coach. So, I mean, this is a chance at the 300 program win. Has there been any talk about that? Has there?
No, there's not.
Okay.
I was unaware of that.
Okay, well, this weekend there's a chance at the program's 300 win. As the coach who has also played here, how does that make you feel, just knowing you can be a part of history this weekend?
I guess fine. Really, I was unaware of that. It's not anything we'll talk about with the team regardless. But very cool for a school to have their 300th win. But it's just again more about this trip and more about who we're playing. I mean, Delta State's a very, very good football team. So,
what are some of the challenges you're expecting this weekend?
Well, they're a very big and physical team. They have a lot of speed. They've got a lot of transfers. I think they're a phenomenal team. So, our challenge is going to be obviously making sure that we protect the football, stop the big play on the defensive side. But, the trip, we got to make sure we understand it's a business trip. It's not a vacation. We will leave out, bright and early Friday morning, and we should get there in plenty of time Friday afternoon. But, we got to overcome the trip and overcome the fact we're playing a really good football team on the road, and we're going to go into a hostile environment and how we're going to handle ourselves.
And Jamar had a great game last week with a career-high 3 touchdowns. So it seemed like the rushing game was just really working for you guys. Is that something you think you'll be able to mimic this week?
Well, I sure hope so. They are, like I said, they're very, very good defensively. I think they're giving up 2.5 yards per rush, something like that. Something's got to break. I think we're averaging a little over 7 per carry. So you got 2 very good football teams going at each other. But like I said, they're big and physical on both sides of the ball. That you can tell that their motive is to play solid defense, and they're going to run the ball on offense as well, and try to hurt you on a big play.
And so far, you've been able to overcome all of the challenges each team has given you so far. But this team in Delta State, and you guys are 5-4 with, so it's a pretty evenly matched team in the series. So, kind of, what challenges does that give you guys?
We got to play within ourselves. We got to be us, and let's go there and execute at the highest level. Worry about doing our jobs as best we possibly can each and every play. Not buy into the atmosphere, not buy into who they are, and that it's a road trip, and kind of just be locked into our assignment. And really, for the most part of the season, our team's done a very good job of doing that.
And go ahead.
Kind of going back to the offense here, the transition last year to this year has been pretty much hasn't skipped a beat. How have you, not being here last year, been able to make that transition so seamless?
Well, both offenses are very, very similar. I said it when I first got here that the average fan wouldn't notice a lot of difference just because the formation is very similar. A lot of the plays are very similar. Might be a little different philosophy here and there, but we've got great players, on both sides of the ball, and that obviously helps the transition a little bit. You got to continue to do a good job of getting the ball in those players' hands, and they were so good at that a year ago that we got to continue doing the same thing.
Last week we talked about players growing into roles. This week, you have guys going down each week and still no, changes. How are your players so prepared?
We've got some depth, fortunately, at a few positions, so that's helped us right there. We kind of have the mentality which every football program has to. Next man's got to be ready, and next man's got to be up when their number's called. And so far so good in that area. We don't want to have any more injuries, that's for sure, but it's part of the game sometimes.
And Delta State, obviously, they're 3-2, but would you say that this is probably your biggest challenge so far, and being on the road?
Yeah, absolutely. I know West Florida is a very good football team as well, but the score from last week, don't let that fool anybody. Delta State is a very, very good football team. I know it's yet another opponent that's had Delta State circled on their calendars since last year's game. So, we know what we're getting into, and we just got to go there and play football like we've been doing for the previous 5 weeks, and I think we'll be okay. But it'll be a great challenge for our program, that's for sure.
Gotcha. And was Brogan Wells 19 for 22 last week?
Somewhere there, 19 and 24 maybe.
So it just seems like he's really able to read the defense really well. He knows when to run the pass option. So what can you kind of say about his performance so far?
He has done phenomenal. But he's a clutch player. I've said this all year too. He's so cool, calm, and collective. He never gets too high. He never gets too low. And I think that's why he's such a good player. But, he understands the offense. He spent a lot of extra time picking the offense up. Thank goodness we had spring ball to go through and kind of get through the rough points, and then we had camp. So he's done a really good job this season understanding what we're trying to accomplish in each game plan.
And as we continue conference play, kind of what will this game maybe tell you about the team?
Well, we'll learn a lot. I mean, Delta State's a very, very good program. From watching them on film, I think without a doubt they're a playoff contender team. They're a conference champion type team. So we'll find out exactly who we are on this away trip and overcoming a great opponent.